Good morning, Treadmill Tax Guy, back at it here today. New question came in. Obviously, some people are still in open enrollment. Other people are past it, unfortunately. But the question was in regards to health savings accounts, HSAs, how that works from a tax perspective, good, bad, ugly. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that the health savings account, also known as HSA, is probably the best form of retirement, right? Notice I said retirement account that ever exists. Now, most people don't think about it as a retirement account. They think, let's put some money in, let's use it for medical. Well, if you're fortunate enough to be working, have a decent paying job, and you can pay for your co-pays, your prescriptions, all of that stuff, don't touch the HSA. Let me kind of explain to you why, right? Let's start first with the background. HSA, what is it? Basically, what happened is as medical insurance costs have risen, health insurance plans adopted higher deductibles, meaning more of our money is used to pay for medical. Well, as part of that, Congress came out with tax laws and some new legislation that basically said, well, if you have this high deductible plan, that will qualify you to open up this separate account. Now, notice that it's a separate account. Typically, these health insurance providers, they don't actually administrate the money in the accounts. You go someplace else. For example, I use HSAbank.com. Well, it's a whole different company. It's not even related to health insurance or any of that kind of stuff. So HSAbank.com, it's tied in with TD Ameritrade. I can do investments, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, it isn't at all in a relationship with my health insurance. And so when you're thinking about that, you could choose. There's a lot of different places out there. But basically the concept is you're able to put money away. There is annual limits for single or married, and they do change every year. It's roughly $7,000 for a married couple. I think in 2022 now it's $7,200 for a married couple, and obviously single would be half that. But that's money that I get to put away. Now here's the benefit of it. That money that I get to put away, I get a tax deduction for the money that goes into the account, okay? Notice I didn't say I get a tax deduction for my health insurance. That's a whole different conversation. But I get a deduction for the money that goes into the HSA, okay? Well, if you understand that, all right, great. It's treated kind of like a retirement account in essence, that I'm kind of deferring taxes in a way, because if I do pull the money out of that HSA, I'm going to get what's called a 1099-SA. That 1099 is sent to the IRS. We are required to reconcile it with your tax return in the year that you pull money out. But if you use that money on qualified medical expenses, what's a qualified medical expense? Pretty much if you go see your doctor or do something other than cosmetic stuff or over-the-counter stuff, it's going to count. But then we basically don't pay any tax on it. So in essence, we get 401k/IRA tax treatment up front, but yet Roth IRA tax treatment on the back end. Well, doesn't that mean it's better than a 401k IRA and a Roth? Yes, it is. So now we think about it going, okay, well, what if I change the way, right? I hack this up and I change the way that I'm thinking, and I think about this HSA as, this is a medical retirement account. Let's put my maximum away. Let's save it year after year after year after year. Let's invest it. Let's get it into equities. Let's let this motor run. By the time you retire, you could potentially have, if you start early enough, 6 figures in this account. Well, that 6 figures could be invested in a REIT portfolio that has a high dividend rate. The income that is kicked off of it can buy long-term care insurance, can pay your Medicare premiums. All of a sudden, you've just built yourself a medical annuity for retirement. And I got deductions all the way there. And when I use that money for all that stuff later in life, I pay nothing in taxes. It's absolutely, to me, it's a no-brainer. So people will go, well, I only have so much money. Where should I put it? And I said, well, first, are you a saver or a spender, right? That's a given. Because spenders, I don't care. You put some money into an HSA, they know they can spend it on medical, they're gonna. But if they're a saver, 100%, I'm gonna go, well, let's start first with our 401k match money. Get all the free money. That's kind of dumb if you don't. So get whatever it takes to get the free money from your employer. Secondly, I then stop that and I go right over to the HSA and I pound that thing. Let's get it up there. Let's get it high. Then after that thing is maxed, maybe we would go back, we'd start looking at Roth IRAs or maybe going back into the 401k, depending on tax brackets, things like that. But the power is that HSA tax deductible when it goes in, tax free on medical stuff on the way out. So very, very good. That is why. So if you're healthy and you're eligible by taking advantage of a higher deductible health insurance plan that allows you to do an HSA, it's an utter no-brainer. Now, if you're on weekly dialysis or some of these other expenses, it's not really that wise to go on a high deductible. It actually costs you money because you're using medical. The HSA is beautiful for people that are younger, healthier, not really utilizing medical, and they kind of have high deductible health insurance as a catastrophic insurance. So that's kind of the way you want to think about that HSA. So of course, someone asks me, I'm going to go HSA all day. I don't know their medical history to make the determining factor, but if you understand the power, A, max it, B, let it compound over time, invest it, don't let it just sit in a bank account. If it's sitting in a bank account, you can roll it over. It's like an IRA, kids. Roll it over to a place that allows you to invest it. Let it compound, let it grow. When you get to a certain point, have a nice diversified portfolio, maybe kicks off some income, maybe some dividends, and utilize that to pay for things that you're gonna need later on. So that's the power of the HSA. That's my whole conversation on it. And go out and get one. It's really, really good.